All right, we're recording. All right, that's the definition of taxonomy. Sorting and classifying living things. The scientific classification. Your best.
Carl wheezing.
So even before we get to the living things, we already have classifications going on, right? Living and non-living.
Yes, like tables and chairs.
Rocks, minerals, vegetables,
Oceanic life,
something like that.
or oceanic organisms.
All right, we good? These are the main classifications. We're going to be going over each one of those today. All right, why do we classify things? Anybody know?
Yes, so if we classify it and we see it, we don't die to it. We know everything about it. And we classify it into a specific spot, like whales and stuff.
Helps us order stuff. Helps us keep stuff in order.
Yes.
For instance, there's over 8 million living things, different types of living things on this planet. If we don't classify them, it's just going to be a jumbled mess. We got to classify. So what are some things we already classify?
Rocks.
Rocks.
Animals.
How about something closer to home? Like when you go into the grocery store.
Produce.
Is it, yeah, right? Produce. Is it just different groceries all over the place?
No.
No, you got produce section. You got what other sections?
Cereal.
All right, yeah, there's a cereal aisle.
Dog food aisle.
Dairy aisle.
Pets.
Pet food aisle.
That's what I said, dog food aisle. The dog food
So
aisle.
you got your basic, your dairies, your meats, your produce,
Proteins.
bakery usually. Yeah.
Proteins.
Seafood.
So there's all different types of stuff, and then there's all kinds of stuff inside there. So if you walk down the aisle of baked beans,
The aisle of baked
or the aisle of vegetables, you would have like a baked bean section, and also a carrot section, right? And then you would have different types of beans inside those bean sections. You got garbanzo, you got black-eyed peas, you got black beans, you got red beans, you got kidney beans, navy beans, right? You got all kinds of different pinto beans,
red beans.
all in just the little section that says beans.
Chili beans.
We already use the classification as we go along through our daily life. Do the same thing with books. You guys have never been to a library, so you don't know what that looks like.
I have been to a library.
Have you?
Yes.
Did they have books, or was it just computer banks?
It was books.
It was books.
There was computers at it though. There was only a few computers.
Okay.
But it was mostly books. And it was 2 stories high. So it was a 2-story bookstore.
Was it in Tampa?
It was down, what's that one road called? Where the old pediatric hospital used to be.
I know there's one in Tampa that's 2-3 stories high. I've been to that one.
Yeah, it's close to the Brandon Hospital.
Good?
It's a
Ready?
big library, yeah.
Moving on. All right, a little bit about the history. This guy, Carl Linnaeus, back in 1735, he published the first classification system, and it's still being used today. 300 years ago, just about 300 years ago, right? 285 years ago. This guy wrote a book that said, hey, we should probably classify all these new animals and plants that we're discovering. And here's a system that I like to use. And the scientific community at large adopted that system. And we still use that system today. There are some changes. I'll go over one of the changes that happened within my lifetime. But overall, this is the same system. Carl Linnaeus. And they all had the funny hair. Back when.
Yeah, when it was like wigs and stuff.
Wigs, yeah.
Powdered wigs.
They would use powdered wigs. Why was that? Do you know?
No, I don't.
Because they all had lice. Nasty little creepy colonies inside their hair. So they would shave their heads and then wear the wigs, and then have to put powder in the wigs to keep the lice out because it was a human hair wig. They didn't have nylon or rayon or anything else to make fake wigs out of.
So it was real wigs made out of human hair.
Yeah, real, yeah.
Real human wigs.
And these days, I don't know if you guys know about it, there's an organization called Locks of Love. So if you have really long hair, you cut it off and you can donate it to them. And what they do is they make wigs out of it and they give it to cancer kids. So kids with cancer, they got to shave their heads for the chemo.
Yeah.
They can have real hair.
Yay, powdered
Are we
wigs.
good? Moving on. 3 domain systems. You don't have to write all that down. Don't worry about all of that. What we're looking at is a bacteria, the archaea, and the eukarya. Right there, eukarya, archaea, and bacteria.
What the? They're too small.
I know. I think you already have it, though, don't you?
Bacteria.
Archaea, and the eukarya.
How you spell that last one? E-U-K-A-R-Y-A.
I spelled it differently.
E-U-K.
I spelled it the way it sounds. Eukarya.
A-R-Y-A.
Thank you.
I do need better glasses.
All right, when I was a kid, this is how some of the things have changed. When I was a kid, there was only 2 domains. I only learned about 2 in school. It's eukarya and proto-eukarya. And then scientists later on in the 90s, they were doing some DNA studies and they discovered that the proto-eukarya could be split into 2 different domains as well.
So basically, it's the same thing that you were learning, just
Right, it's just
Proto-
more divisions.
bacteria.
So for
Split in 2.
200 years, they used it one way, and then they switched it up a little bit. So that's one of the ways it changes, but it's still the same basic classification. All right, the different kingdoms. There's, how many is that? 6? 6 basic kingdoms. We won't learn much about this. Yeah. We'll talk about fungi very much, but we'll talk about animals and plants in this class over the course of the year. Is what we're mainly going to be talking about, animals and plants.
Fungi.
Not so much fungi. What's fungi?
Mushrooms.
Mushrooms, very good.
It's split 3 ways, so yeah, there's 6 kingdoms.
Yep. And then the plant classification is a little bit different than the animal classification, but it's similar.
Species, breed, and type. What type of animal it is? What species is it? What's its breed?
We're going to learn the scientific names.
Yay!
What's up?
It's the
Protist,
specimen.
right? Yeah, bacteria, archaea, protist, animals, plants, fungi.
Did you know that you can eat some mushrooms?
Yes.
I knew that.
But
I
you can grow
do not
mushrooms.
like mushrooms.
I was talking about like wild mushrooms.
You know how the mushrooms in your fridge, if you leave them too long, they get that white stuff on them, looks like spider webs a little bit. That's them trying to grow. Right, so if you take those, they got that little white stuff on them, and you go down to the store, Home Depot, and you get a bag of manure, or Walmart, get a bag of manure, put it into a container, and then put those mushrooms on there from your fridge, and then put a cover, and then slide it under your bed. Don't do this. Ryan, don't do this. And then slide it under your bed, you can grow mushrooms.
My bed's too short.
Your parents will get mad though. Don't do that. All right,
Why would
phylum.
they get mad?
That's the next major grouping. Some of the groups in the phylum are cnidarians.
Jellyfish.
Yep, jellyfish, very good. Mollusks, snails, also like oysters
Oysters
that
and
you can eat.
is that a human?
Yes.
Yep. Hold on, we'll get there. You got the annelids,
Worm.
Worms and
Worms.
snakes.
arthropods,
Lobsters.
lobsters. Anything with a hard shell is an arthropod. So anything like
So
lobster,
lobsters, turtles.
no, not turtles,
Lobsters and
insects,
crabs.
turtles are reptiles. Yeah, insects, crabs,
Lobsters.
lobsters, yes.
Starfish.
Echinoderms, yep, they're starfish. You can slice those up and have a whole bunch more. And the chordates. What does chordate mean?
Human.
Huh?
Human.
No, What is it? What is a cord? Anybody know what a cord is?
It's a string.
Very good. It's a string. In this case, in the scientific case, a cord, it's referring to your spinal column, not your backbone, but the spinal nerves that go through that backbone. Because there are some animals that have
Cord spine.
spinal nerves. They have the cords,
Like
but
dogs.
but they don't have a vertebrae. They don't have a backbone themselves.
Like lobsters.
No.
Not lobsters.
Fish.
No,
Yeah,
sharks.
There's certain types of fish.
Like sharks.
Animals. No, sharks have a backbone, but they fall into a cartilage fish rather than a bone fish.
I know there's one fish that doesn't even have bones, and it doesn't have bones in its jaw either.
Sharks.
But
It's all made
sharks,
of cartilage. Sharks are made of the same stuff your nose is made of.
yeah, but sharks have bones in their jaw. Their entire jaw is made of bones.
Moving on, class. This is more specific
Wait,
grouping.
Wait, you did.
Phylum. Yeah, that's this one right here. Where were you? Groups of animals together based on common features. I told you, we're stepping it up this year. Last year, he got lazy because I just gave him my notes. Here's my notes. Well, this year, you're gonna work a little bit.
So like mollusks are like mussels.
Yeah.
And
Freshwater mussels,
freshwater
oysters,
clams.
Yep. All right, class is a more specific grouping of phylum. There's over 100 classes. I think my last count was 103, but that changes from time to time. Tetrapod, tetra. What does tetra mean?
Terrestrial.
No.
Four. Tetra
Tetra
means
means
four.
four.
Tetrapods are four-legged creatures. All four-legged
Like
creatures
Tetris.
fall into this. Yeah, I have to print it out, but yeah, I can. Yeah, let me print it out.
Mr. Shane, kind of like Tetris.
Yes. 4 blocks.
4 blocks.
The biggest one was 4 blocks. All right, this is another class, mammalians. What makes a mammal? Does anybody know? Yes.
It has hair and it breathes oxygen.
All right, let's look at this anteater right here. Does that have
Wait,
hair?
that's an anteater?
Yeah. What about an armadillo? Does armadillo have hair?
No.
No. It has
Yes, it
tail.
does. It does have hair.
Mammal refers to mammary glands, and the babies of all mammals drink their mama's milk.
So they all produce milk.
They all produce milk from a mammary gland. Yeah. So even stuff like this anteater
I don't know.
and this platypus,
Is that a
even though they
crocodile?
lay eggs, they don't have live births. They lay eggs, but they produce milk, and their babies drink their mama's milk. What?
What is that one thing that's coming out of the ocean?
Whale.
And it looks like a crocodile hopping out of the water.
All right. So we would fall under, and there's different levels of classes. We'd fall under the tetrapod class, and then the subclass mammalians.
We fall under the tetra class.
Tetrapod, yeah, because we got 4 limbs, right?
5 including our brain.
No.
Our
All right,
skull.
order, carnivora. Probably heard of
Carnivores.
carnivores. What does that mean?
Meat
They only
eaters.
eat meat.
Meat eaters. And herbivores. What are those?
Plant eaters.
Plant eaters. And then there's omnivores, which is what we are. But we fall into the primate order, right? Meaning we got opposable thumbs. We are
Basically gorillas.
higher brained.
So, like dolphins.
Something.
Like dolphins.
Yeah. I think dolphins have some movement. I don't know. Anyway, cladogram, that's something, you don't have to know it right now, but that's something you're going to see a lot, and that's this diagram here. So these little nodes right here show common ancestors way back when. So no, we did not evolve from gorillas. Right?
I know we did.
Yeah, that's like pop culture kind of thing.
We evolved from roads. Not roads. We evolved from dolphins.
So rodents, give me some rodents.
Rabbit.
Rats.
Rats, what else?
Rabbit.
Rabbit, very good.
Hares.
Mice.
Mice.
What was another one?
Hamsters, yeah.
Uh,
Beavers. Anything with the two front teeth that can chew through a lot of things.
Squirrels.
Yes, squirrels are tree rats, yeah.
tree rats.
Chipmunk.
Raccoon.
Chipmunk.
No, all right.
What about chipmunk?
Yes.
Yes, chipmunks are rodents.
Are we good? Moving along. Family. A lot of
Size
this
of the
stuff
world.
is another taxonomic ranking.
Wait, you did order?
Yeah, Corey, where do you go, bud? Yes, Ryan.
There's a black with the black bears. There's two different kinds of black bears.
Yeah.
There is the American black bear,
Yes.
and I forgot what the other black bear was.
Asiatic black bear.
Yeah, yes. But with the American black bear, there is a rare mutation that happens where it can become white, and it only happens in 1% of black bear. So you could be going out in the woods and you can find a black-white bear.
Black bears actually have different color schemes, just like we do. There's blonde black bears.
Wait, what?
Yeah, there's blue black bears.
All right, family. Another taxonomic ranking. These are the bears of the world. All these bears are in the same family. They are not all the same species. They are not even all in the same genus.
Yeah, like polar bears, panda bears.
Yeah, right. So you got your grizzly bear, your polar bear, your black bear. Wait.
Black bear's up at the top.
Black bear.
That's sloth bear.
Sloth bear. All right, so
Sloth bear.
these three are in the same genus. These are in a genus all their own. Wait, genus, no, these four. That's black bear. What?
I had a question.
Yes.
Is a brown bear a grizzly bear?
Yes.
Yes.
My dad wants to argue with me about that.
So it's a different subspecies. So you got brown bears, Kodiak bears, grizzly bears. They're all the same species, but they're different subspecies.
So a brown bear is a part of the subspecies of grizzly bear.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, there's a subspecies of panda that's on there, like the red panda,
The red panda, yes, I know.
which are basically a smaller one.
It's a lemur.
It looks like a raccoon. It looks like a big raccoon, and it's red.
Yeah.
All right, genus. Genus. That's our first part of our scientific name. So with the bear, the Ursidae, right? The Ursidae is the family. The genus is Ursus. So the polar bear is Ursus maritimus. The grizzly bear is Ursus arctos, right? Because the polar bear, maritimus, what does that mean? What does it sound like?
Winter.
Maritimus, maritime. What does that refer to?
Cold.
Doesn't your dad have a boat?
Yes.
Yeah, the boat, the ocean, maritime.
Maritime means
Right.
boat bear?
Yep.
It's boat bear.
Not boat bear, but swim. It swims.
Boat bear.
So Ursus arctos, the grizzly bear. What is Arctis?
Arctic, it sounds like Arctic.
Arctic, right?
Arctic
Circle.
bear. It's Arctic
Right,
boat bear.
so all of these genus and species names are in Latin, all of them. So if you know your Latin roots, you can figure this out a little bit. So the first part of the scientific name. What is our scientific name? Humans. What are our scientific name?
Birdates.
Our scientific name. Homo sapiens.
Yes, I was
You heard that?
thinking about something.
What does homo mean?
Human.
It means sane. Homo means sane. So you'll hear it a lot in science, like homo polar,
Homo sapien.
Homo sapien, yes. Sapien refers to humans.
Same
So
human.
Neanderthals, their genus, Neanderthals genus is Homo. They're Homo neanderthalis, right?
Same human big guy. Same human big guy. I don't know. Same human big
All
guy.
right, species. A group of organisms that are best suited for breeding healthy offspring. The general idea of a species is that all members of that species can interbreed together and have healthy offspring. That's not a hard and fast rule. That's just a general definition. For instance, dogs.
Like bear.
All dogs are Canis lupus.
They're
All dogs.
canine.
All dogs.
They're
Canis
canine.
lupus. The domesticated dog is a subspecies called Canis familius, right? Familiar. So a wolf, shadow wolf, is a lupus, right? Lupus, wolf. All dogs can breed with wolves.
Yeah, then you get a wolf
Yeah,
dog.
because dogs already.
Some of them, like this little Manchester Terrier here, might not have a great time with it, but they can all do it.
So basically, like how my dog is a mutt. He's mixed with three different types of dogs.
Right, but it's all the same species,
Yes.
different breeds, not even subspecies, because all domesticated dogs are Canis lupus familius.
And the Lupus familius is a familiar. We're wizards now. We have a familiar.
We're gonna learn Latin before the end of the year.
Yay, we're wizards. You're a wizard, Harry. Wait, no, wait, that doesn't make sense. You're a wizard, Harry.
I'm a
You
wolf.
will be head of your
A wizard.
public school counterparts. All right, we got a couple more minutes. I got
You're
one
a
more
wizard,
slide.
Potter.
All right, ready?
Yeah.
Jenna, that doesn't make sense.
What happened to it? There it is. Why is it past there? Oh, I got it all mixed up.
I
Can
can't
you
read
see
it.
that? I can't see that.
I can't read it.
I can't read it.
You can if you move way up. All right, so in the domain, eukarya. That's every multi-celled creature. Plants
Octopus.
and animals are all included in eukarya, right? And in the
Octopus.
kingdom, animals, animalia, you get insects as well as dogs. We're gonna follow that dog all the way up. Insects as well as dogs. And then the phylum, Chordata, remember that refers to a spinal cord, not necessarily the vertebrae, but the spinal cord.
Wait, how does dogs not have a spine?
They do have a spine. They're in the subphylum vertebrae.
So like us.
Us, we're in the same phylum.
I can't see
Mammalia,
that.
they're in the class Mammalia, like us. They're in the order carnivores. Now, cats are included in carnivores, foxes in carnivores. We are not in carnivores. We are omnivores.
Dogs
have-
can also be
We have
omnivores because they eat fruit.
incisors. We have incisors. We have canines, so we can eat meat. But we also have our back teeth, our molars, our bicuspids, so we can grind plants, right?
I have a question.
What?
Which tooth is the one that grabs stuff? Like it grabs stuff and doesn't let go.
Your canine.
Okay.
That's the longer one on the side.
The really
Remember
sharp one.
Carnivora. And then the family Canidae, right? That's close to Canis. Canis meaning dog. Family is Canidae, and that includes foxes and jackals as well.
Wait, what?
Jackal is a subdivision of dog.
Very far up on the lane. It's in the same family.
It's a subdivision of dog.
What's not in there? Jackal, fox, wolf, dog. What about a hyena?
Hyena's not a dog.
Correct. Hyena is not in the Canidae family. It's actually closer related to a mongoose.
Yeah, it's a
Just looks like a dog. All right.
yeah. It's
And then
just
we
giant
have-
mongoose.
And then we have the genus. Jackals are included in the Canis genus,
And so are dogs.
and so are wolves and dogs. And then the species,
No.
Canis lupus, right?
It's wolf and
dog.
Wolf dog.
Wolf dog, yeah. And the Canis lupus familiaris. That's that dog, right?
Yay, we have a familiar.
All
I
right.
have 3 familiars.
Boom. Any questions?
What happened to Jim Carrey?
All right, if there are no questions, go ahead and put up your notes.
I have a question. What happened to Jim Carrey as the Joker? The Riddler.
He got old and tried to do some serious acting.
Oh, he tried to do some serious acting. He's an actor.